Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can quickly, easily, simply make this super awesome pallet trough. And then you can grow things like strawberries in your garden, or even if you've got a little flat with a balcony or something, you can fit this on there. You can have strawberries spilling out the sides. I mean, this is crucial to your existence, do you not think? So first of all, I'm going to cut this here pallet in half. Bum, bum, bum. Shit's going down, bro. Now to do that, I'm going to use this circular saw. You can use a hand saw. Sorry, am I shouting? It's just that I can't really hear myself. Oh, shit's crazy. So to do this, to cut this pallet in half, I'm going to use a circular saw. You can use a hand saw, it'll take you a bit longer, but it'll get the job done. Alright? So I've already marked this out. This pallet is 1 metre wide. It doesn't really matter how wide your pallet is. What you're going for is a pallet that you can split in half that will be the same on both sides. And it is also best to have one of these pallets that has these struts in it, as you can see. These are actually wooden lengths rather than square blocks. So you'll probably have to flip this over and cut it from the other side afterwards, because your circular saw is not going to go quite that deep, but that doesn't really matter, right? So now I'm just cutting through the other side, just make sure we've got 2 halves. Right, we now have 2 halves that are the same. You can put these to the side for 1 minute. So we're now going to take a part out of this pallet to use as the base for our trough. So if you want to know how to take pallets apart, we've got the super cheap and easy way, which is right here. Click on the link. Or the super fast way, which is right here. Now let's continue with this build. So what we want for the base are 2 planks with 1 plank on the top in the centre. I'll show you what I mean. So take your circular saw again, do some more cuts. So you're removing just the piece that you need. Okay, so when you're happy that you have 2 planks one side and 1 plank the other side, it's ready to move up to the workbench. So you've got your base on your workbench, you take one of your sides, Now what you're doing here is clamping your sides to your base, and you've got to choose now how much of a slant you'd like on your sides. So have a little bit of a play with them and work out how much. I mean, you could have both sides out quite far. It depends how much room you've got for your trough, how much you want to fit in it, and also how your pallets fit together as well. So let's try this out. So you just want to kind of clamp it in place while you decide on the angle. So you might, you know, spend a little bit of time messing about and moving one side up and one side down until you get it perfect. So you see how each piece, each strut can be screwed into the plank next to it. And then just clip them in place. Like so. Once you've got your sides clamped in place, have a check and make sure that you're happy with your angles. So you're never going to get this like 100% perfect, because obviously it's a pallet and they're not made 100% accurately, but as long as you're happy with your angles and you want to go ahead and put it together, the next step is to grab yourself some decking screws or some kind of anti-corrosive nail or screw to put your pallet trough together. I wouldn't use something that's going to rust, because that's not going to last very long out in the elements, especially when you're watering your plants or your strawberries. Over time that could rust away, but decking screws are obviously made to be used outside, so they are fantastic for this job. I've got several different sizes, because you're going to need different sizes for the different parts of this trough. And I always like to drill a hole first with a wood drill bit, because you will find with pallet wood that it splits extremely easily. So, you know, if you get to a couple of screws in and you get a big split down your wood, it's going to ruin it and you'll have to start again. So let's drill a small hole first. I've got my wood drill bit in my drill and I'm ready to drill my pilot holes. Now you want to make sure that your clamp's not going to be in your way, so you can move it slightly if you need to. And also make sure that you're not going to be too close to the edge of this piece of wood or the piece behind it, because you don't want to split it or for a piece of wood to come away. I've drilled 2 holes for 2 screws because I want it to be held together properly, so there's going to be 2 screws in either side at either end. This is my decking screw that I'm using. It's long enough to go through both pieces of wood but not come right through the other side. That's held tight, and now that clamp can come off. Repeat this on all 4 corners. Once all your screws are in all 4 corners, that's your basic frame built. Now all you need to do is fill in the ends. So to do that, I'd use some of your pallet which you cut apart earlier to bridge these gaps across here and in the sides. It's easy to just hold up a piece of wood, cut the angle that you want and make sure that those pieces fit in there, and then use some smaller decking screws to fix them to your frame. So I'm using these little diddy ones. You just have to make sure that they go through the plank of wood and into the other piece without coming out the other side. And because these are smaller and this piece of wood is actually thinner than the frame parts that we attach, you shouldn't have to pilot hole it, as long as you don't do it too close to the edge. Well, there you go, guys. That is my simple yet effective pallet trough build. I really like the shape of this trough, and I hope you do too. It's not just square and boring like so many others that you see. It's got a nice shape to it. There are a couple of variants of things that you can do to this trough to make it your own. So you might have noticed with this particular one, I've left more gaps around the sides than I did with the other one. That is because I want to grow strawberries. Strawberries. Sorry. Blacked out for a minute there. I want to grow strawberries, so I'm going to fill this full of straw, and all my strawberries will be able to dangle out of the edge and be all delicious and succulent, and I'll be able to just pick them off and eat them. But if you want to grow something with soil, and obviously you're thinking, well, how am I going to keep soil in it? It's going to fall out the sides. If you think like that, I don't know. Maybe you have a different thinking voice. Anyway, you can fill your trough with a hessian sack like I did with the other trough, and that will mean that as your plants grow, the soil and, you know, the roots will grow through the soil and the hessian sac, and it will all combine into a lump, and it won't fall out of the sides. And also, if you want to know how I painted the other trough, I used a spray paint, right? Super idea, because it dries really, really quick and comes in awesome colours. So pop down to your DIY store, pick the colour that you want in a spray paint which is suitable to use outdoors and on wood. You literally spray it on, and then you just sand it off 20 minutes later, and it will give you that lovely rustic painted effect. I would really love it if you do make any of these troughs, then do send me pictures of yours with your flowers and things in it, because I would love that. And do find me on social media. I've linked it all below in the description, but I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter every day, posting pictures of the things that I'm making, and also, you know, the odd selfie here and there. Quite a lot of selfies actually as well. And also, if you can support my channel by giving it a thumbs up, or give my video a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you thought of this build, if you'll be building it. Have a great week. I'll see you all soon. Mwah.